Kellie, this video talk is about the notion of transformation in business.
Okay.
Business transformation. And that's a word that gets bandied about a lot these days. And it's been bandied about so much that it's lost its power, I think. So the intention of this is to say, what is it, why it's important, and how it produces business results. So what is it, why it's important, and how it produces business results. So here's how I'm going to start. The research I've done has shown me the following. 80% of all change efforts fail. 80%. Now, if you're a senior manager in business, almost by definition, you're in the change business. So if 80% fail, I would get interested in what the nugget is to have that ratio turn around. So then I'd ask the following question. Is change and transformation, is transformation just a fancy word for change? And I'm suggesting that's not the case. It's very distinct. And here's two things that might relate to that. Change looks at the past and makes it wrong, and then does something to do something different. Transformation really hospices. Do you know that word hospice? It's where you take care, it hospices the past and midwives what's next. So it doesn't make it wrong, because in the evolution of the world and our business, it was necessary to go through some of those steps. So Ken Wilber, the guy that invented integral theory, said we transcend and include. Okay, now I'm switching and I'm doing a metaphor. What the hell is transformation? Well, if you take a caterpillar and it becomes a butterfly, that is a transformation. That butterfly has wings, it has colors, it flies. Caterpillars don't do that. Going from a caterpillar to a butterfly is a transition. It's a transformation. I'm using that word metaphorically, and now I'm going to define transformation. It's a shift in, now I'm going to use 6 or 7 different words, and I'm going to use them all the same. It's a shift in paradigm. You know, there used to be a paradigm that the world was flat. Then they discovered it was round, and that gave us Columbus, and that gave us discoveries. When it's flat, it restricted activity. When it was round, it gave us a whole new. So that was the paradigm. There used to be a paradigm. If God had wanted man or women to fly, he would have given us wings. That was the paradigm. Another word is context. It's the context that you have. If you look at, I used to work in an organization called the Hunger Project. And the context around hunger, I don't even know where I made this up. I'm in the 7th grade. I'm studying at a Catholic school. And I made up that was God's way of keeping the population in check. The real truth is that when parents in those countries had kids that died, they had more kids because they needed that was the context that I operated in. There is enough food. I thought there wasn't enough food. So paradigm, context, worldview. There is a certain worldview, i.e. how you see the world, that scarcity is pervasive. There's not enough money. There's not enough sex. There's not enough power. There's not enough. It's kind of how you see the world. Another word could be mindset. It's the mindset that we have. I don't know about you and me, but there's a certain mindset or worldview that this thing about men and women living together successfully is not so damn easy. That is, and I got evidence for that worldview, by the way. And you could say it's the conversation. You know, it used to be that transistor was thought to be the littlest component that was ever going to transmit information, the transistor. That was in the conversation. That was the worldview. That was the paradigm. It was said by very smart people that the world would need 6 computers max at one time. It was said that safety in dangerous business, people are going to get killed, hurt, and maimed. That's just the way it is. Death and taxes. It was said, check this out. We're in COVID-19 right now. It used to be said, like a worldview, like a paradigm, that the way you manage production is get everyone to the office. That's how you ensure. Now, I just heard a statistic today from a high-flung group. The CEO interviewed people. 20% were in COVID. Everyone's at home. 20% want to go back full-time. 80% do not want to go back full-time. That's not going to happen. Martin Luther King said, I have a dream. He didn't say I have a plan. He said, I have a dream around the fairness of racial equality. So I'm just pointing out that worldviews constrict, they show us who to be and how to act, and they have some very important impacts, particularly if you're interested in creating a breakthrough. And at JMJ, we say we're in the transformation business, i.e., you can do a mega project and get all the players on the same side of the equation with a game worth playing where people are looking out for the whole. We say you can do incident injury free and not kill, hurt, and maim people. Those are different mindsets, different paradigms, a different worldview. And when you produced real results consistent with that, you call that a transformation. That's the caterpillar going to the butterfly. So you and I and others perhaps listening to this are in business. Now check out one of the things about the paradigm or the worldview or the context or the mindset or the conversation is we're often not present to it. It's not, it shapes the way we see the world, but we're often unaware or unconscious. So part of our work really is to make a new possibility present and make us conscious to the current paradigm, limiting paradigm. So here's a few. And it's not that we have these thoughts, it's we think from them. So I'm suggesting, I'm going to give you 5. Number 1, the world is a machine. Businesses are a machine. Well, you know what that means? Human beings are cogs in the machine. You're not a living, breathing entity in a real world life system. You are part of the machine, and it has a devaluing impact on human beings. Now, at one time, that was an advance. It's now thought to be a restriction. Here's another one. You might have heard this. If you're in business and you're not growing, you're dying. I even espouse that. And it comes from a point of view that businesses are measured primarily on return on investment, and that bigger pieces of the pie, by the way, are better for everyone. Except in our world right now, we've run out of some of the pie and we're damaging the ecology. A third one we really got with the advent of the Bible, and you can say it's an anthropocentric way of looking at the world. Mankind's in the middle. Our job is to dominate nature. That's just the way it's the way we got it in Genesis, I think. Well, that particular worldview is causing extreme difficulty, and some people are predicting that humankind will be an extinguished species in 100 years. I'm just going to give you one other one. in liberal democracy, I mean liberal, I don't mean liberal conservative, I mean liberal democracy, it's thought that individual rights and the primacy of the individual is the most important thing. Well, I think we're seeing some limits to that right now. So if you're in business and you're interested in having a breakthrough, best to get clear on what's the limiting worldview that has people act the way they act. I design things a certain way because people are going to get hurt. It's just the nature of things. I'm using an example. So then what does this breakthrough, what does this transformation take? Well, it takes 6 things. It takes a big problem that you've been trying to solve and your existing repertoire has not been sufficient. So a big problem. Number 2 is the most difficult. A certain awareness of what's the paradigm, the context, or the mindset that's keeping it, in fact, in place. And in order to do that, you actually have to notice. And in order to do that, you need a certain stillness. And we're not wired for stillness. We're wired for frenetic activity. Number 3, you need to be responsible for how it is. So we're killing off the planet right now. It's not just that guy over there, it's me here. Check this out. The research shows that 80% of American workers are disengaged in their jobs. No matter what the HR department said or the executives, human beings are our most important resource. If 80% say they're disengaged, that is not in fact true. Number 4, it takes a stand in the matter, and stands, you know, JMJ has a stand for the elimination of worker injury. And, you know, in 1992, that looked like stupid. And it's dangerous, and people will ridicule you. That's number 4. Number 5 is a tough one. To be authentic, to be an authentic transformational agent, you must be involved in your own transformation. You must be looking at where your downsides are, where your growth opportunities are. And you know, if you're not involved in your own learning, growth, and development as one person, you're just preaching. And who needs more preaching? And lastly, it must show up in results. So this area of transformation is banding about that word with not a lot of fluidity or preciseness around its meaning. Its meaning is substantial. And we need transformation to create breakthrough results, and they demand us to notice what's the context or paradigm or mindset that we're working in, because our actions and our being are consistent with that. And if you want different actions and different beings and different results, transform that context.